Guys, got a very serious subject to talk about this morning. A very serious confession that I need to make to all of you guys. And that is, every once in a while, when I'm drinking out of my mugs, it's not actually coffee. Sometimes it's Diet Dr. Pepper. Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's Jrpg weekly update. And hey, guys, this week is Christmas, but there are a lot of holidays going on around this time of year, and I just want to say, whatever you do, whoever you are, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Happy New Year. I'm sure I'll see you before the New Year, but guys, I just want to say, it's been such a great year with you. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, we've got a lot of news to talk about, guys. Actually, not a lot of news, but some really big news to talk about. A lot of stuff having to do with the Trails series. But before we really get to that, I wanted to talk to you about today's top headline, which is that Dragon Quest XI has recently surpassed 5.5 million units shipped worldwide. Which, for context, is really great. Because for context, Dragon Quest VIII sold a total of 4.9 million units. It is now tied with Dragon Quest IX, which previous to this was the best-selling game, best-selling Dragon Quest worldwide, according to VGChartz. So, Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest XI is fantastic. And if you want to know more about my thoughts on Dragon Quest XI, I recommend that you check out my review up here. It's a good one. I mean, the game. And the review. I think it's a good one too. Also, I wanted to address something else that came up earlier this week. Capcom recently trademarked Breath of Fire and Mega Man in Japan, or renewed their trademarks on those. And I only wanted to talk about this at this time because I have seen some people getting their hopes up, and I need to dash those hopes. Unfortunately, guys, because what we found is that there's actually Capcom has renewed the IPs of something like 50 different IPs, and such a bulk renewal of trademarks really implies to me that it's just kind of something that they've scheduled to do in advance and in bulk. They're not really paying any special attention to Mega Man Legends or Breath of Fire or anything like that. So they're just protecting their trademarks, and this is really nothing to get excited about. But I'll tell you something that you should be getting excited about, and that is Legend of Heroes Hajime no Kiseki, or tentatively, people are translating that as Trails of Beginnings, has been announced by Falcom, and that is going to be coming to the PlayStation 4, and has been described as a turning point that will lead to the series conclusion. That's multiple series conclusion. And it's planned to release in Japan in 2020. No news about a Western release yet, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, because Falcom also announced Legend of Heroes Zero no Kiseki and Ao no Kiseki, or I guess Trails of Zero and Trails of Ao. I'm not really sure what Ao Blue, Trails of Blue maybe. I don't know. Anyways, it's coming to PlayStation 4, or these two games are coming to PlayStation 4 in spring of 2020 in Japan as well. And now, judging from the way that Trails has just been absolutely killing it here in the States, I think that there's a very good chance that we will also see all three of these games coming to the States eventually. It might take some time because they still need to be translated. I believe there are some fan translations in the works for those PSP games, if not already done. I'm not positive on that, don't quote me, but point is, the Xseed, or whoever does the translation, is going to have a lot of work cut out for them in the translation process or localization process. Yeah, these are PS4 ports of the original PSP releases from 2010. So far, there haven't been trailers for any of the HD remasters yet, so right now I'm showing some really old and busted trailers from 10 years ago. So suffice it to say, the new games will look a lot better than this, but expect the release to have full HD graphics, 60 frames per second, fully voiced over, and it will also introduce high speed and skip abilities, so you can play the game in fast forward mode if that's what you want. I'm not a fan of that, but I know a lot of other people are. So look out for that, guys. It is the year, the year of the Trails series. And, based on the way you guys responded to the question of the week a few weeks ago about what game had the best, or game series had the best world building, that one was just like every response ever. I'm stoked, and it's a huge series to get started in. I'm not even sure where to begin, but I will need to begin sometime soon. So keep your eyes out for these games and more announcements in the future. In other news, The Outer Worlds is going to be getting some DLC in 2020. Currently, not very much is known about what that DLC will entail, but I'm pretty interested in The Outer Worlds, and I've heard that it's actually a lot shorter than you might have expected. So, because of that, I guess, the DLC will be pretty welcome for me, at least, when I do eventually get around to playing it. And I do plan to get around to Outer Worlds sooner than later. So, yeah, well, maybe I'll keep my ears open for when that DLC is going to launch, and maybe I can do an all-in-one review. I don't know. Anyways, registration for Phantasy Star Online 2 for the Xbox One has opened for closed beta. That's kind of a weird... Okay, registration for the closed beta has opened. That's how I'll say that. And unfortunately, that's going to be limited to people participating in the Xbox Insider program, so it's not open to everybody. You can go find more details about how to register for that if that's what you want to do over on the official website. I'll link in the description. Also, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink got a new trailer at Grand Blue Fantasy Fest. Now, this is about like a 1.5 to 2 minute trailer. This is very cinematic. It looks amazing, but also they released a 10-minute gameplay demo that looks super impressive as well. The dev team says that they are still working on the engine, and that they don't want to really announce a date for when it's going to come out in Japan, because I guess that date would likely get moved around and they don't want to disappoint fans. So we'll just keep waiting with bated breath, because I've been watching this since last year and it's already the end of this year. Who knows? I'm really excited for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. But yeah, the wait is absolutely killing me. Now, in community news, OC Remix is releasing a massive 3-disc Terranigma album for free. Now, this is a collaborative effort of over 60 artists featuring 31 tracks. It's currently available on SoundCloud for you to listen to, or you can download it from their website as an MP3 file, and there's also a torrent for an FLAC file or FLAC file, which is like a really high quality file. I've been listening to it all day today, and oh my god, I'm seriously just getting chills listening to this. Some of these tracks I will be absolutely including throughout the duration of this video. Definitely check out the rest of the album. It is fantastic. I haven't gotten all the way through it yet because it, again, is 30 tracks. It's a long album, but man, you guys want to check this out. In SuperDerek news, I'm going to be trying my absolute hardest to make sure that I have a Shadow Hearts 2 Covenant review out before Christmas, which probably means it has to be tomorrow. So I'm going to be working really hard on that. So I hope that you guys, when you see it, give it a like, give it a watch, do all the stuff that you want to do, I guess. It was originally going to be a Halloween episode. That didn't happen. But now it's probably going to be a Christmas episode, so make sure you watch that. Also on Twitch, I'm nearly finished with my playthrough of Super Mario RPG already, and a review of that will also soon be in the works. I haven't decided yet on what I'm going to be playing next after Super Mario RPG. I just have so many options, but I also have so many things pulling me in different directions. So I'm just really excited to be able to pick another game and get started on it. Now, for this week's JRPG Weekly Forecast, we've got Regions of Ruin, which is a side-scrolling action RPG. It's going to be coming to Nintendo Switch today. Also coming out today on the Nintendo Switch is Dronjin, Dungeons of Ink and Paper, and this is a very stylish first-person dungeon crawler with a unique kind of ink and paper look to it. It's super cool looking. And yeah, that's coming out today as well. But that's pretty much it. It's a pretty light week for releases. Go figure. Now, for this week's question of the week, what is at the top of your holiday wish list? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a game, computer part, whatever, RPG related or not. What is just let's talk about something else for now. It could be RPG related. What is the one thing that is at the top of your holiday wish list that you just would be so thrilled to get for your holiday this year? It sounds really weird that I want this so much right now because it's just a $10 PlayStation 2 game. but I haven't been able to find it lately, and I've been looking, and it's Shadows of Destiny for PlayStation 2. And I think what I'm probably going to do is just go on Amazon and just buy it. I like to find my games in the wild when I can, but anyways, I just want to get a complete copy of Shadow of Destiny. What's with all these Shadow games that I'm wanting to play? Anyways, it's been a long while since I played it, and I just really want to see how it held up. I think there was this scene in the game or this area of the game that took place in like winter, and it was like black and white, and it was really cool. And I feel like the weather that I've been having has just kind of been like, oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of that scene. So anyways, that's what I really want for Christmas at the moment. But what do you guys have in mind? What is on your list? And again, guys, thank you for joining me today and for making this a wonderful year of JRPG news. We'll be doing this again, I think, right before the end of the year, and we'll see what happens. There may not be a whole lot in the way of RPG news next week, and if that happens, I may just take that week off. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But hey, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me.